Expense. Noun. 1. Uncountable. The money that you spend on something. The garden was transformed at great expense. No expense was spared. They spent as much money as was needed to make the party a success. He's arranged everything. No expense spared. She always travels first class regardless of expense. The results are well worth the expense. 2. Countable. Usually singular. Something that makes you spend money. Running a car is a big expense. 3. Expenses. Plural. Money spent in doing a particular job or for a particular purpose. Living, household, medical, legal, etc. Expenses. Can I give you something towards expenses? Financial help to meet the expenses of an emergency. The payments he gets barely cover his expenses. See related entries. Economy. 4. Expenses. Plural. Money that you spend while you are working and which your employer will pay back to you later. You can claim back your travel expenses. British English. To take a client out for a meal on expenses. An all expenses paid trip. See related entries. Economy. Extra examples. He was given a sum of money to cover his travel expenses. I think we deserve a night out on expenses. Insurance is an ongoing expense. It emerged that they had received free first-class travel at the taxpayer's expense. Look for a fund with low expenses. Medical expenses can be quite high if you are not insured. Meetings and the time for them are a considerable management expense. My expenses are constantly rising, and my income stays the same. Net interest expense increased to $5.9 million from $4.1 million. No expense was spared to make the party a success. No expense was spared. They spent as much money as was needed to make the party a success. Operating expenses rose by more than 23% last year. Put the cost of the meal on your expense account. Relocated employees received grants towards incidental expenses like buying carpets. Save the expense of calling out a plumber by learning some of the basics yourself. She had to meet the expense herself. Start keeping track of deductible expenses such as charitable contributions. The accommodation package includes admission to the golf course at no extra expense. The bridge was built at public expense. The garden was transformed at great expense. Guides are unpaid except for basic expenses. The process turned out to be a significant capital expense. They are claiming expenses for travel and meals. They had to repair the damage at their own expense. Total employee expenses were up about 6%. We will recoup our expenses within 24 months. When it came to the wedding, no expense was spared. You can claim back the tax on legitimate business expenses. You can expect to receive compensation for all expenses arising out of the accident. You can reduce your expenses by selling your old car at a good price. You will have to pay income tax on the rent you receive, although you can deduct expenses such as insurance. You will receive expenses reimbursement for up to $5,000 for legal representation. Your monthly housing expense should not be greater than 28% of your income. A claim large enough to justify the expense of insurance policy premiums. A commercial traveler staying at the hotel on expenses. A 2-day, all expenses paid trip to London. In an effort to reduce expenses and boost profits. Your ongoing expenses, such as your employees' salaries. He's arranged everything. No expense spared. The real expense of the trip was the flights. We were taken out for a meal at the company's expense.